I love you so much.
My husband's leaving to Bali.
Oh, I love you, honey.
At least I'll have something to talk about when you're gone. And it is 6:17 in the morning. My husband is walking out the door to go to Bali with his father to start a new life. He's coming back, obviously. His father is not coming back. And wow, what a week. What a 3 weeks it's been. And I just literally hung up the phone because my friend for God knows how many years, what's she called? It's the clinician. Is it couture clinician? I'm terrible. Allegra. Just ran into Caroline Baldino too. And all my friends are calling me from LA. And I was just thinking, God, how lucky I am. I have a husband that loves me. I have friends that love me and think of me. And it's everything that I've been talking about. Love you, darling. I love you so much. Sorry, he's walking out the door. Oh my God. 5 days on my own. That's sad, but this is keeping me going. All those friends that I was saying and all these podcasts I've been doing about growth and moving forward and cutting out the noise and being tough and moving on from not loyalty, but things that hold you back and being with people that appreciate you. I realized that some people, and I actually saw a podcast on this the other day, they're called takers. Energy suckers, they expect things from you. I'm a giver and I expect a lot from friends. So I do know that, by the way. So I always ask, if I've got a friend in a certain business, I'm not scared to ask them for favors at all. I believe in there's enough for everyone to eat. I believe room at my table. I believe in many things like, pay it forward, basically. Good things happen to good people. If I am in a position where I can help someone, I will. That's kind of what the retreats were. So let me go back a minute. I've just come back from 3 weeks in where was I? Goodness me, it's early. Miami. Then I was in my retreat, which was Arizona. So I've got, let's unpack each thing. Miami, I stayed with Larsa Pippin, and Larsa is another one. We've just done a podcast, actually. She's a really special human. I don't care what anyone thinks, and actually, not that she always gets upset with me when I say that, like nobody likes her. People like her. A lot of people like her. I mean, it's just I read, internet comments, but I've read them about myself. I'd be jumping off this balcony too. So, I think having just spent that time with her, we've been friends many, many years, but obviously we don't get to see each other as often as we like. And this is the year that I'm going to grow, but I'm also going to make more effort. I'm laughing because I introduced her to Stephanie Shea, and sometimes I'm like a little bit jealous of all the things they do because I'm like, I wish I was with them. But I'm not jealous in a way that I, want to break them up yet. We had the most wonderful time. They really, really, really went out of their way. I came to town and they made me feel amazing. Then I had, my birthday, and that was just endless. We had a beautiful dinner with them. I had a beautiful dinner with friends that I've known forever. Brett and Magda, who I've probably known 15 years and think that I'm an absolute fucking lunatic, but they love me. And, they never, all of them just around. And I just love that without anything, without asking, without the shit, without feeling guilt, without feeling put upon. They just know you, right? I just had a dinner with Jen Finnegan, who I've known probably, since I was 40, 39, 38, I suppose, maybe younger, 36, I think it was. And I turned up late because I'd forgotten. And I have this terrible affliction. And no angry words were said. She just said, I'm here at the restaurant. I had forgotten completely, pounded it over there. She understood it was an innocent mistake. We make mistakes. People make mistakes. I don't like people that make you feel guilty for certain things. If it's genuinely coming from a good place and you genuinely forget, or you genuinely, you're not doing things with malice, then let bygones be bygones. Guys, you can't make grown people do things they don't want to do. You cannot. It's not right. We're all adults in life. And I've actually just learned that from, things that happened to me at Michael's birthday. We had this weird thing about not showing up to a lunch at a certain time and letting Michael be by the bar and who was going to take him where. You just can't put upon people. People at the end of the day will do whatever they want at this point in life. And nor should you ask. You can suggest. We can all suggest, but you can't tell grown-ass people what they can and cannot do, and that's just the thing. So I'm learning so much about myself, and the more I step into my new era, the more powerful I become, the more, successful, the more driven, the more happy, because the boundaries are back. I think when I was in a weaker spot, I was scared to put boundaries in because, I just think I wanted to be accepted. I wanted friends. I'd already sort of lost so many when, I started dating Sergio, and obviously, got divorced, and I didn't want to upset anyone because I was always already letting everybody down by not being with, my ex-husband, who, now probably fucking thanks the world that I'm not with him, right? And I think it's really important. You always end up where you're supposed to be. Let me tell you that. Unless you're a terrible human or something went drastically wrong, people, we end up where we're meant to be, which is a very good place to be, and to understand that. Don't worry about what's going to happen the other side. Worry about what would happen if you don't try your best. Everything that's happened to me now is because I took huge risks. So let's go back to Miami. I had the best time. Oh, and then, I'd had my girlfriend Lauren in town too, Lauren Ridinger. And, she organized a boat day for me, and it was just me. There was no one, she said I could take whoever I wanted. The whole boat was my own. She wasn't in town. There's another friend, right? Not asking for anything. She's not even there. She can't even enjoy it with me. Just giving for the sake of friendship. And I remember that about her actually too, because, during COVID, I was going to New York, and she was like, look, if you're in New York, just go down to my house in the Hamptons and just lock yourselves in there. I mean, the generosity of some of the people around me, and the love, oh my God, there's a bird in my house. The love I felt around me, and how lucky I've been in my life. It can't be a mistake. I have to say that I must be some sort of a good human to attract the good humans that I've got at this stage. I have had some bad ones, and you know what is really funny? I can see the bad ones very clearly in my phone. So, when you have the people faces, and then you go to all the people that you photograph the most, there are so many in the back there now that I have blocked or don't speak to anymore. And I don't edit them out, because actually it was interesting. I went to a psychic and she said, cleanse your phone, cleanse everything, and get rid of everyone. I didn't do that because I feel like looking at them takes me back to see all the people that I've managed to close the door on, and how far I've come that I never thought. And some of these people were fully ensconced in my life. Fully. I couldn't imagine, I treated them like family. I would let them in my house, cook dinner for them, be with my kids. My kids have seen it go down too. And I always say to my kids, well, you live and learn. It's not about the mistake. It's about getting rid of, about doing something about it. And, I'm proud of letting go of these people in my life, and I intend to keep going. And, they do say the more successful you become, the smaller your circle. And I'm beginning to see why, because ultimately people are threatened. And, I'm somebody who has always opened their address book, always lifted people. And what I've found is the more you lift people and you give them access, right, they've used it against me. I've seen people take my contacts, forget to thank me, which is fine. Again, that's up to you. But then, pretend or treat it like it was never my introduction, which I find insane. I'm forever grateful to people that lift me. I'll never forget, the one of the founders of Net-a-Porter back in the day when I wanted to start my business, who introduced me to everybody I needed to know. Everybody. And actually, this was the days before Net-a-Porter had really taken off. But she never saw me as competition, ever. Not because she didn't think I could do it, but because she felt that there was plenty of people and plenty of room for people. Carmen Busquets, if you're listening, she always picked up the phone, and we weren't great friends. There was no reason for her to do all that for me, other than that she was a girl's girl, and I'll never forget that. And people here, I've had help all the way through. I'll never forget some of the girls that have helped me. One of the girls that actually owns where I live, and the sisters, the family who've always lifted me up through everything and saw who I was even when I wasn't her. And that's the important thing, because, you know, I can go back now to the UK or here. Here. Okay, let's start with Dubai, because Dubai, I guess when I entered Dubai, I wasn't the ladies of London power bitch, the girl that, you know, the businesswoman that everybody knew. I was this housewife, really, because, you know, I hadn't had the chance. The coffee's being delivered. I was this housewife here who hadn't had the chance to do the business side yet. So no one knew me in that capacity. And so I think they find it harder now as I step into my power bitch, because they think this is a whole new me. This isn't a whole new me. This is me going back to being me. I make them uncomfortable now because people think, oh, I've just suddenly reinvented myself. No, I've just suddenly come back to the woman I always was, but lost along the way. I think just fighting so many people or just being let down by so many people. And I see why now. A lot of people step into their power in their 40s and late 40s, early 50s, because you really begin to know who you are, and you really need to see and clear out everything before you can have a straight run at it. And, you know, we just got back, as I said. So Miami went like this, then we went on Lawrence, and then what an amazing afternoon or day we spent with Tommy Hilfiger and wow. Like, they opened their home to me and my friends. Basically, it was my birthday, so they said, bring whoever you like, well, you know, for dinner. So I've known them a very long time too, and there's this very funny story about me and Dee. I think it was the year that I had started Gift Library. So for those of you that don't know, I mean, that's almost 15 years ago Dee walked into my office. You know, these are not people I met yesterday. She walks into my office with her handbags, who at that stage, because our friend Marigate said, Caroline Stanbury has this website, she'll sell your things, they'll be amazing on this. So she rolls in her bags because it was really heavy. And I'm sat there, again, giving the Devil Wears Prada, having a manicure, pedicure, and I forgot this part. She reminded me at my birthday dinner in front of Larsa and Jeff. I wanted to shoot myself laughing. I was doing my eyebrows. Now, if anyone's had their eyebrows done, you know that you can't even see anything because I had all the chemicals on my eyebrows. She was like, there I am trying to show you my handbags. You're lying back and I'm dangling them over your head. She said, and I remember very clearly, she goes to me, who the fuck do you think you are? Cleopatra, this is the weirdest meeting I've ever had. And I suppose I must have made an impact because here I still am. And, you know, what a good human too. She's someone that's faced adversity. She's come out the other side. She doesn't need to work. She has, you know, obviously one of the most wonderful homes, lives, you know, beautiful husband who adores her. But she has never given up the hustle because she's also suffered through her life. And and if you listen to my podcast, she's done one with me and you can go and listen to Dee's story. But, you know, she has gone through everything too. And that woman is a girl's girl too. And God, did we laugh during my birthday. We really did. It was so special. It was only the six of us. And, you know, we just had the most wonderful, wonderful time. And, you know, Tommy was saying, come back and stay. And I would have stayed the night, to be honest. We should have had a pajama party. And that's my big regret. Dee, Tommy, I'm coming back to my guest house. I just can't tell you, because powerful people and people who've already made it, then they're not doing these things to you. They're not trying to trip you up. They're not trying to, you know, break you down or tell you you're worthless. They're lifting you because, you know, they see something in you. They are, you know, happy in their own lives. So, you know, they're happy to share. They're not worried about what I'm going to do with their contact. You know, Tommy's now dressing Sergio for Amphar. It's so sweet. You know, it was just wonderful to watch them together. And, you know, obviously I've met him many times before, but now when I'm with Sergio, it's just a different thing. And it was so warming, so kind, so loving. God, it was just food for the soul. I can't tell you how much we laughed. I can't tell you how much laughter feeds me. From there, I was so ready to go to Arizona, where I went for my retreat, you know, and I met the women. Wow. Like, I was not sure what I was going to get, right? When you put something up like that and you're advertising, I don't know who I appeal to. I don't know whether people are looking to get divorced, want to have a younger man. I appeal to businesswomen. I appeal to women who have been through a lot, right? I appeal to women who want to start again. And the one word I've heard from most of the people that follow me is purpose. So let me go through who was there. We had one woman who's running for Congress, one woman went to Princeton, one went to Harvard. One woman is in, I think, early 30s. The first retreat was absolutely insane. The second retreat is going to be in the Maldives. We've had so many signups. Please click the link and buy your ticket ASAP. Very, very limited seating. I have said it. I think we are about 30% or 40% sold out now. Send me a DM if you're interested in coming. If you're a man and you're interested in looking in retreats too, please also send me a DM. I look forward to hearing from you all. Okay, we're back. One woman has 10 million of property with 4 million of equity, almost, okay? Very young, unbelievable story. One woman, two had retired, sold their businesses, and were looking for new purpose. And I was like, wow. So what I think I'm coming away from this is that we're building a community. I'm building a community of very powerful women. Okay, they're just the OGs, and I'm going to introduce everybody to each other. Whoever comes on those retreats, you can do business together, you can bond with each other. My retreats are all going on holiday together. I'm in a group chat so I can see what they're all chatting about. They're all off to Vegas without me. And I love that. And some of them are doing business with each other already. Some of them are looking for, two wanted to move house, to country and look for a new beginning. I love that. I feel that we all walked away with an amazing amount of answers. Sometimes the answer's right in front of your face. You just don't know how to get it. It was so obvious to all of us. And I think us being in that room and sharing all these things, and the only things I'm sharing with you right now, by the way, are the things on their social media. Otherwise, I wouldn't. We all signed NDAs as well, by the way. So it's a completely safe space. But we are walking away with a community, friendship, new purpose in life, business partners. It was incredible to see. One woman had 8 clinics in LA. One woman had flown all the way from Australia, and she, said this was one of the best things that she'd done for herself. And I saw how happy everybody was at the end of the weekend, including myself. And it's something I cannot wait to get back on. Actually, 2 of them or 3 of them have already booked for the Maldives, which shows me that they got something out of it. They all said it was one of the best retreat they'd ever been on, actually. And, I know I'm on the right path. This is something that's just the beginning for me now. I know that I didn't know what I wanted to do fully, other than the property. But now I know that it's my mission in life to connect these women, to help these women, to focus these women. They had the answers, they didn't need me for that really. But I think what they needed is a little nudge and to say, you're doing, this is the right path for you, or you can do it. I think sometimes we all need that. I think if the more I've had that lately, and there's been a few people that have said, what are you talking about? Like, you can do this, you've always done this. Like, I was on the phone to my girlfriend Kate last night. It's one of the women that sort of helped me with all my homes and always has, and she's never questioned anything, and we've just always collaborated so well together. And I love her, and she's helping me with my hotel. And I was like, the realization that Sergio's flying now to Bali with his father will stay there and that's it now, and that the next times we go back, everything will be fully on its way and the walls are going up. This week I'm looking at more apartments. The building, Sergio's just left for Bali. His father's moved to Bali now. Everything is coming. I don't have time anymore. I don't have time to sit down and to waste my time. I only want to be with people that lift me, see me for who I am, see the woman I'm becoming instead of putting me down. If you don't value me, see me, move out of my way. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coffee with Caroline. Don't forget to press subscribe. Everybody, if you love this channel, I have a lot more coming for you. Oh, and I keep being asked to do the packing. I'm going to show you how to pack because I'm about to go away for 3 months. That will be interesting. Love you all. The retreats are linked. If you want to come on this next journey, experience these things with some powerful women, some power bitches, and just find your inner confidence, come with us. We'll see you in the Maldives. Thank you for listening.